Hello folks. Well look, I wanted to add an MPEG-3 player to my old 89 Chevy pickup truck radio. Had a tape deck in it. Here's a photo of the radio head. Has AM, FM, and when you turn the tape on it goes to tape. Well, it turns out that this has a control unit mounted in the dash that plugs into both the control head and the tape deck. Here you see the tape deck plug is removed. Here's what the tape deck plug looks like. It has actually 9 connectors on it and they're output like this. That other end of the plug goes to the actual tape deck. So I unplugged the other end of the plug and simply cut off the connectors from the tape deck. And then I wired the audio connections, which are fairly obvious, to a 3.5 millimeter stereo jack and plugged it into my MPEG-3 player, and then tried to get the MPEG-3 player to play into the radio. Well, it turns out to make this thing play into the radio, all you need to do is connect the 2 data bus pins, pin 7 and pin 12, together. The radio goes to clock and it plays through the radio, but the volume is awfully low. Well, there's a 20 dB amplifier on the output board of the tape deck, and in order to make the volumes compatible with the radio level, you have to add a 20 dB amplifier to your MPEG-3 player. Here's a photo of a 20 dB amplifier that I purchased from Valmont. It's about 25 bucks. It's in kit form, and it has volume controls on it, so you can normalize the volume of your MPEG-3 player to the actual radio itself. Here's the label that came with the Valmont preamplifier. Very easy to build. But you can make a home-built one too out of a number of printed circuits that operate off of a 12-volt supply. Here's the one I built. Here's the bottom view of the circuit board of the same amplifier that I built. A few resistors, a few capacitors, and a 12-volt supply, and you got an amplifier. Put volume controls on it though. Here's some schematics of the amplifiers that work and how to build a 20 to 40 dB amplifier by changing the resistors. Here's what I ended up with, showing the tape deck plug, the preamplifier, and the little plug I built to plug the stereo right into the dash. Here's a close-up of the plug. You really need a single pole, single throw switch with a 10K or a 1K resistor in it. This is a double pole, double throw. Here's a view of the front of the switch with the 3.5 millimeter jack to plug into it. You can get simply a stereo cable with two plugs on each end and plug it in. Close-up of the Valmont amplifier connected to the system. Okay, let's listen to a little video. Okay, we're going to demonstrate the new switch for the MP3 player on the radio. We turn on the radio, do a little music, and you can see down here I have my circuitry for the MP3 player. The Valmont circuit board has been adjusted. So let me flip this switch. See that? We can take the volume adjusters and normalize this volume to the volume of the radio when it's on the radio. Here's my diagram that I'll include in there. There's the MP3 player plugged in. We'll look at this once we get this installed into the dash. I'll unplug it. You can see that that's off. There's the MP3 thing that will be installed in the dash. Switch it over to radio. Let's look at how I install this in the dash. I took the plug that previously went to the rear window defogger, which I don't have, cut a hole in it, filed it out, just the exact size of the little switch mount, which I found on All Electronics or one of those surplus electronic places. And then I mounted the switch and the jack in this small hole, which fits into the instrument panel of the dashboard. Here is what the front of the instrument panel looks like. When the switch is towards the plug, it's switched to auxiliary input. Here's a photo of the back of that switch. I have a 10K resistor. Again, all you need is a single pole, single throw switch, and you don't need that diode that I put in there. Just to clean it up and make sure it was reliable, I epoxied very carefully the switch to the little plastic mounting plate. And then I took the preamp itself and mounted and put some heat shrink around it, cut holes for the volume control so I could adjust them whenever necessary. And then I carefully mounted this whole system behind the instrument panel. Here's the switch with a cord and the MPEG-3 player hanging out of it. Here's what it looks like when it's installed and complete. Switch toward the jack means the MPEG-3 player's on. You can mount this right side up or upside down. Here's what the finished installation looks like, and now I can play MPEG-3s through my GM stereo with no problem. Thank you for looking. Please go to our website where I have PDF copies of this video with additional documentations, narration on the pictures and whatnot. Thank you very much for viewing. www.ClassicManuals.net